Well, good afternoon, YTPC. Yes, this is video number 3, and this is not a VR to anybody. This is just saying hello. Let's see, it's about 2:45. It's 2:47 on Tuesday afternoon, the 16th of January. Hey, from yesterday, Ahab's comfort. So I've smoked a bowl of it today, figured it out, just what you guys said. So look, I rubbed this thing out. I mean, damn near to dust, and then let it dry a little bit, packed it loosely, smoked amazing. It was great. So still not a lat bomb guy, but I enjoyed it, and I'm gonna load this up, smoke a second bowl while I talk to you. All right, we got it loaded up as always. The Maryland Meerschaum. What's in the pipe today? Show you again, just like yesterday. Ahab's Comfort from Watch City. I showed you the rub out. It's lightly packed using Smarty Bob's, like pretty much gravity method. I realize pipe packing is pretty much like arguing about religion. But that, for me, loose pack, gravity fed, light tap is what works for me. All right, we're going back with the Zippo lighter because I think the Zippo lighter is more popular than I am. I get what people say. There is an essence of lighter fluid for the first second or two. Now I'm going back to my favorite. Going back to now that's a lighter. Thank you, Greg. Powder Piper commented that maybe Latakia is a little bit like Burley. If you're not ready for it, you're not ready for it. So maybe that's what maybe I need these lower percentage Latakia blends for now, and Ahabs will come back into my life in the spring or summer after. It's all gonna get jarred up. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm not giving up on it either. It sure was fun to switch to the cigar yesterday, though. Boy, did I enjoy that. If I have time, I might smoke this bowl, then switch to a cigar again. I'm a little bit under the gun time-wise. Because the wife wants a dinner date since tomorrow night's the last night. And for some reason, I think if I hung out with you guys too late and screwed that dinner up, she'd be not very understanding that I spent time with you guys virtually in YouTube instead of taking her to dinner. I have a bunch of little topics today. I don't have any big offensometer items. It's pretty good. First one, I want to shout out Tonote, Greg. One, I miss him. He's one of my dailies. It's funny how quickly we become addicted to people who post daily. Powder Piper's almost got that way. Greg's that way. Uncle Willie's that way. Jane Dees is getting that way. Anyway, I do miss his posts, but I want to call him out because he's doing something that he mentions it in comments, but I don't think he's really called it out hardcore, so I want to, and that is he is living with his clients. I mean, my God, that is so tough. No time for yourself, really no privacy. You have to watch everything you say. It makes it almost impossible to make videos. I get that. I mean, I used to travel all the time for my job, and my clients would always want me to travel with them and stay with them, same hotel, same planes. That was pretty intrusive just to do that. And that I got to leave. They want to eat every meal together, but at least at the end of the day, I got to go to my own hotel room, even if it was right next door to the client. And I respect that he just makes things happen. I've been talking on the comments, you can see him, about, really, he grinds and makes things happen no matter what. And failure is not an option. And so that was sort of my first topic. So I'm using Greg to kind of lead into my first conversation point with you guys. And that is that grit determination is required, I think, to be happy in life. That failure is not an option, whether it be your relationship with your wife or the relationship with your kids or your job or your career, or you can apply it to anything. But I just think that dog with a bone, that just, I will not fail. I will do whatever it takes to make this work. That has served me so well as I went through high school, as I went through college, as I went through I had 8 years kind of getting in my career, learning my area, before I stepped out and started my own company. And then particularly when I was in my company, finding the revenue. And it's hard when you're your own businessman. And Greg is in this mode. It's hard when you're serving an existing client, you're serving the current sale, but you got to look for the next one at the same time. You actually have 2 jobs all the time, particularly if you're a one-man show. You've got to serve the current sale and look for the next sale, or you go through this continuous, feast and famine mode. And I don't know, just a lot of people don't have what it takes to do both and make it work. And if you try it, you just have to have that, I will not fail no matter what, no matter how many hours I have to work, no matter how late I have to stay, no matter how many clients I got to live with. It's just a key component. And I mean, my God, Greg embodies that, and he's embodying it right now the last few weeks, and to do it through the holiday season, absolutely brutal. Anyway, just hats off to you, buddy. Piper Ken's another one. You got in a bad situation, but failure wasn't an option. He took a second job. That dude works 7 days a week, week after week after week. I mean, he gets so few days off. When he gets one, he comes and does a video and says, "Oh my God, I had the day off," and spent it with us a little bit. Anyway, I just total respect for that. I love the man who takes the reins and makes things happen, grinds it out, true grit style. I just will not fail. I love it. And many people in this community are demonstrating it. So I've been taking you through the process of trying to fill the vacancy at the farm. And the fact that it's hard to find somebody who actually wants to work. I mean, actually wants to actually work. It has led to some pretty funny comments, and I think you can see if you read comments how universal it is. It doesn't matter what industry it is. It doesn't matter what state you're in. It doesn't matter what country you're in. Some of you guys that live outside the U.S. have actually commented we have the exact same problem here. And in fact, I believe the entire Western world has fallen into this kind of entitlement thinking. And for me, it started 25 years ago with this participation trophy. You're important just for showing up. Whether the kid's important because they just show up at school, or the kid's important because they just show up for the soccer team. and everybody gets the same trophy no matter what. I have some issues with that, and I think it's really one of the core things. It's one of the things we first start teaching our kids, that you're valuable and important just to show up. We should worship your attendance. Um, so it's kind of funny that we see that. So I have a story from back when I owned my company. Obviously as CEO, I was in the headquarters a lot, and the support staff was, a group of maybe 17 or 18 people that I saw a lot. And we needed a junior accountant, and so we hired a girl right out of college, and she was super excited. We kind of said, hey, we'll stretch a little bit. Junior accountant is something we could give somebody, a start right out of school, no experience necessary, and kind of put it through the normal interviews, the normal personality checks, passed them all, very excited, came to work for us. And after a few weeks, she just could not get her shit together. Late every day, different excuse every day, and actually started to blame the DC Metro, which is what do you call it, the subway system under DC, for making her late every day. And finally we had to sit her down and said, it is possible to take the train earlier. You could take one train earlier and you'd never be late. And that was just like, and blew her brain. She still was late. She just couldn't get it done. So finally, I had her sit down with me. And that's a freaky experience for a 22, 23-year-old kid to sit down with the CEO. And I just said, hey, do you like being here? And she's like, yeah, I love it here. You guys are awesome. Everyone's so nice to me and all. And I said, well, you are currently not cutting it. You are performing at a level that you are going to get fired. You have to step your game up, and we'll talk about how, if you want to stay here and continue to be an employee of this company. You would have thought I had hit her literally with a baseball bat. Her actual response to me was, I don't think you can say that to me. I don't think you can talk to me like that. She's actually said this to me. And it was in that moment I had this flash, and I actually said it to her. I said, I'm worried that I'm the first human being, the first person in your life to ever tell you you weren't cutting it, that you weren't doing good enough, that you weren't performing the way I need you to perform. I said, have your parents never said that? Have any of your, other job, even though it was like high school work, did your bosses never say this to you? Did your coaches never say it to you? Did your professors never say it to you? And she's like, no one has ever, in my life, no one has ever said those words to me. And she kind of reiterated, I just don't think you can talk to me like that. I said, well, let me assure you, I can talk to you that way, and you are going to get fired unless we make some changes. So let's both do something here. I'm going to change your start time and give you an extra half hour here, which doesn't mean take the next train, but I need you to get here. I think at one time, when she started, she wanted to start at 8. So we said, well, let's just move you to 8:30 and take that pressure off of you. And then I need these other performance things done, at your desk, working for, at that time, my CFO. And you know what? She pulled her shit together. She never got fired, and she made it happen. And months later, we would joke about, this kind of, for her, this lightning bolt moment that just showing up wasn't what we were looking for. That we looked for elite performance out of every single person in our company, and we achieved elite performance, and we paid elite salaries, and we paid elite bonuses, and we gave people a chance. We normally hired a grade below what we needed. So if we needed a junior accountant, we didn't hire somebody with 1 or 2 years experience. We hired somebody right out of school and gave them an opportunity. And we tried that all the way up the ladder. I mean, we gave people, in the 25 years I ran the company, we did it hundreds of times where we gave people, we leveled them up and gave them a chance that probably nobody else would. And that was really fun. But I just wanted to tell that story. I don't think you can talk to me like that. Now, see, I can retro hell that Latakia bomb, and it doesn't bother me in the slightest. No sting whatsoever. Great retro hell, by the way. Yeah, and I don't have to dump half of it out of my mouth to make it work. Nice. Nice. I'm enjoying it more and more. In fact, the more into the bowl I get, the Latakia seems to settle down, which I couldn't say yesterday because I couldn't get it to work. I wasn't rubbing it out right. So I have to agree with what you guys said. You got to rub it out. I mean, really rub it out. Not to dust, but damn close. Let it dry for a few minutes. And then I like to pack it loose. Works great. So my next subject would be something I learned in interviewing, but it works in a lot of other parts of life. I call it the push me, pull you interview. What the hell does that mean? So if you're hiring, you get a resume from somebody, right? And J&D, you're going to need these, in my opinion, as you start to hire people for your second site. But when you get an interview a resume laid in front of you, it's I performed like Jesus Christ, and then I was pretty much angelic here and a princess here, and so you get these people's like the best write-up. I mean, the best possible write-ups in the resumes. So, I mean, I read them, but you can presume they're probably half bullshit. For me, it was the cracks in the resume. It was the transition from job to job or from whatever part of life to another part. It was those transitional moments, what I call the cracks, the resume cracks. And what I tried to drag out of people, and sometimes it took a while to get them comfortable to talk about it, but so you just take the top block. Well, they had to leave somewhere usually to get to that top block, right? As you leave from one job to the next. So you ask them about that. You say, hey, what about this second to last job pushed you, right? Pushed you away. And what about this job pulled you from it? It's very rare that someone just takes a job because they got a better job. There's usually something else going on. And what we're looking for is a pattern of why did they leave these positions? And as they get more senior, as we get older, there's more and more. Some people have 10 transitions in their career. And so if you can get a sense of why, what pushed them away, right? Because what you're trying to do is not be the next one. And so is what pushed them away something that was consistent and you're just going to be the next one. No one can make this person happy. And so as soon as you hire them, you start a clock and either you're going to let go or they're going to move on to another job. And if you can discern that before you bring this person on board, it certainly does help remove the heartache and the wasted time training and the wasted expense of bringing somebody on. But I talk about this in a professional format, but I think it helps when you talk to them personally as well. You don't want to interview friends. That's stupid. That's not what I'm saying. But Jim, CJ's Garage, is out looking, right? He's wolfing around, right? And he thinks he's found somebody. And one suggestion I would make, even for personal, I've not been out there since 1988. So I imagine a few things have changed. And my wife and I joke about that all the time. But one thing I'd be interested in if I was looking and meeting people is, hey, what happened with the last relationship? What caused it to end? And if it's because the guy passed away, died, I mean, that's pretty clear, and probably not a concern unless she was feeding him afternoon soup, like in The Sixth Sense, and you'd like to know that too. But in general, it's usually not that clean. And so we can get a sense of what makes this person happy and what makes this person upset enough to move on. And I consider that pretty useful information. We can use it if we're looking for another job, if we're looking for another client, if like when we have clients come to our barn and really kind of solicit us to come become one of our clients, that's one of the things we talk about is, well, what's making you unhappy in your current barn that would make you want to come to our barn? And lots of times we get beautiful, perfect answers. And lots of times we get, after you've talked about their last 3 barns, you realize you're talking to somebody that you don't want in your barn. And we call it the barn family. Because generally people come to ride horses as their pipe, as their calm moment, as their getaway moment, as their stress reliever. They don't want to come to a horse farm and deal with some psycho beast of other riders. So we're very careful. And so we do this sort of push me, pull you conversation. And now my wife's so good at it, I don't do it anymore. She does it. So anyway, just a concept I wanted to throw out there, the push me, pull you interview. It changed my life for decades, for 20 years. And it's changed the family that my wife has put together at our barn. And I think it can help in other aspects of life. You know, who the hell knows? I just want to throw it out there. All right, guys, I've assembled all the pieces and we're at 21 minutes. So a couple of things I noticed. One, I'm not making another 40-minute video. You guys were very kind to me yesterday, and I appreciate that. And then my microphone is giving me some green alien skin today. Anyway, one more thing, and then we'll say goodbye and get out of here. I'm concerned that we become a society in the Western world, but particularly in the United States, where we have replaced the concept of sharing in an opportunity or sharing in a society where you are free to pursue the opportunity you wish. We've replaced that concept with, I should share in the results no matter what my participation level is. I think that is a chronic issue that will eventually destroy our society if we continue down the path of allowing people to declare, I should share equally in the results of all of your activities, even though I have chosen to participate at the minimal or below minimal level. I do not believe that we should become a society where you share in the results if you choose not to participate in the opportunity. Whether if somebody's putting in 10 times the effort you are, that your piece of the sharing of the results should equal that of everybody else. I have a problem with that. I see that in the way we grade kids. I see that in how we discuss. We're no longer a society that helps those who are ready to excel. It's really upon us as family to be ready for that and help. The school system seems to have come down to the lowest common denominator and is really kind of at risk of bordering on babysitting at this point. But I see it in universities, I see it in companies, I see it in political debates, and I just wanted to throw that out there. That's I guess that's probably bordering on a rant. So I better shut up because the next topic will just blow me up. So we'll save some topics for tomorrow. We will say goodbye. Again, I love you guys. The participation, the comments that we're getting here are frankly getting hard for me to keep up with, as I've said before, but let's keep at it. Have a great Tuesday night, and I'm pretty sure we'll see each other tomorrow as a final Maryland video before we head out across the country. Bye, you guys.